couple of months ago, during one of my usual trips to the manga store, I was looking for some new juicy titles to get myself addicted to, and while ravishing through the mountains of volumes, my eyes were almost forcefully drawn by one of the most beautiful, eye-orgasmic, nipples-hardening covers I've ever fucking seen in my entire life. Well, immediately I got extremely curious because the cover depicted a scenery that definitely didn't seem like Japan. In fact, it's quite rare to find manga series, except for fantasy and isekai obviously, that aren't set in Japan. Now this manga is called Go With The Clouds North by Northwest, and it is written by Aki Irie. It follows the story of Kei Miyama, a very tall, half-Japanese 17-year-old boy that lives at his grandpa's house in Iceland, loves to drink coffee and eats nothing but meat. But he doesn't live there for free. Well, in order to pay for his stay, he starts working as a private investigator. Well, is that all there is to the story, maybe wondering? No, because Kei can talk with cars. And not just with cars, actually. In the first volume, we find out that he can actually speak with every inanimate object. For example, during the first chapter, we can often see him talking to his car, and his is like the only voice that we can actually sort of hear. Only later, though, when we find out more about his childhood, it's revealed that he possesses this power, and we understand that he's not just some lunatic that constantly talks to inanimate objects. No, he's just a lunatic that talks with inanimate objects that also respond. And this weird power of him often comes extremely handy during his investigations, because what better observer of a crime scene could there be other than still objects that never left their place and that have no intentions to lie? Well, and during the first volume we also meet some other quite interesting characters. First comes Kei's playboy grandpa that doesn't need to think twice before hitting on random women. A woman called Katla that desperately falls in love after meeting him for about 10 minutes probably. Then there's her niece, Lilia, that after being seen naked by Kei twice in like a span of an hour, well, she gets kinda angry, but definitely not for the reason you're thinking. No, she just wants to see Kei naked as well, in order to be even. Yeah. And by the end of the first volume, we also get a look at Michitaka, Kei's younger brother that went missing. Well, if by this point you're still wondering why you should read this manga, well, what I personally found more interesting about this title is actually everything. The story is a good mystery with some sprinkle of fantasy elements in the form of Kei's powers, as well as some quite decent human drama and coming-of-age elements. The characters are extremely well written and very entertaining, with many shades to their emotions and interesting backstories. And all this is coated in some of the best art I've seen in a very long time. The characters all have a beautiful and unique design that helps to bring their personalities on the surface even more than the already amazing and snappy dialogue. The way Aki draws characters kind of reminds me of older Korean manhwa. These doll characters with long arms, hands, hair, and also extremely long Aki's art doesn't stop being astonishing just at the character design though, no. With her amazing attention to detail, especially in the landscapes, she manages to give life to the breathtaking Icelandic views. Every little movement, every piece of grass, the feeling of the strong winds that are constantly blowing through the island, and the unexpected snowstorms. You can almost feel all of them through the pages. I assure you that especially now with the temperatures we're getting, reading this with your AC on or with a fan pointed at your face is, well, it's probably one of the best ways to experience the Icelandic breeze without having to leave your home. This manga is currently serializing, and I think it has around 5 volumes right now, of which I have the first 3 volumes, with these extremely beautiful covers. One thing that I found extremely interesting about the covers is that on the back of each one of them you can find many different things, and the way they're translated to Icelandic, that is very extremely cool. Now the second series I wanted to talk about is Oshi no Ko. I actually heard about this manga a while ago, and honestly I ended up buying it out of sheer curiosity. Well, I enjoyed it far more than I actually expected to. Well, first of all, I really like the cover art of the first volume. Look at this, it has this sort of a glossy finish to it that I honestly have never seen on any of my other volumes. It looks extremely cool. Now this manga is, well, quite a weird one. It is co-written by Aka Akasaka, the author of the Kaguya-sama series, and Mengo Yokoyari, who made Scam's Wish, a series that I honestly have not yet watched. Well, in the first pages we meet the main character, a gynecologist that works in a small clinic in the countryside. We learn that he's a huge fan of idols, especially of a certain new one, Ai Hoshino. Well, one day a young woman comes to the clinic, and once the doctor sees her, he couldn't be more surprised because the girl that came to his small clinic is no other than his favorite idol. After visiting her, he finds out that she's pregnant with twins and that she needs to maintain her pregnancy secret from the public eye. He then promises her that he will follow her throughout the whole pregnancy until the very end. But when the day finally comes and he needs to hurry to the clinic to assist her, well, he dies. He gets actually murdered by a mysterious man. At this point probably comes one of the coolest plot twists I've seen in a while. Our main character, the gynecologist, well, he gets reincarnated in one of the twins that Ai Hoshino gives birth to, while still retaining all of his previous memories. I'm not gonna tell you anything about the other twin though. Don't want to give you any spoilers. Well, now you may be wondering, is it just a glorified isekai then? Yes it is, but what I like most about the story is the way it portrays all the difficulties that plague the life of an idol in Japan. It actually goes quite deep into this world, analyzing it from every possible angle. We can see the physical and emotional struggles that these girls have to go through on a daily basis. We also get a good look at the economical aspect of this branch of the Japanese show business that can often be quite rotten and toxic. We also see how many of these girls often struggle with stalkers that can and sometimes do make their lives extremely uneasy or even dangerous. Honestly speaking, I've never found myself particularly interested in all the like idol aspect, but I'm honestly very glad that I still managed to learn something about it through this extremely interesting story. Now, the art style is very good, although I personally think that its best aspect is the character design, because well, the backgrounds aren't usually extremely detailed or particularly interesting to look at. Now, I have to say that this manga might not be for everyone. Well, the story is quite slow paced with plenty of dialogue and no action scenes whatsoever. It also portrays some very harsh human drama that might be kind of hard to follow for some individuals. But if you don't really care about these aspects, I'd hardly recommend you giving this manga a chance. It is currently still serializing and it has 8 volumes so far. And as far as I know, it is even getting an anime adaptation, although we do not know when yet. Well, thank you very much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I also hope that it helped you to find some new stories to enjoy. Well, thank you very much again, and I really hope I will see you in my next videos.